The last section of geometry in chapter 8 that we're going to do is geometry 8-7, which is the law of cosines. And basically, it's the same purpose as the law of sines, except you'll be faced with different scenarios on how to answer it. On your test, I'll tell you which ones to use so that you don't freak out, but you need to understand the law of sines and how it's created. It's a little different than the law of sines because the law of sines is proportion. It's very simple. The proportion of each angle, over, sine of the angle over the opposite side. In this case, the equation is a little bit more complicated, and I'm going to explain how you got it. But just as a review, remember that the opposite side is the lowercase, so this is lowercase a, c, and b. And what they did to find the law of sines, alright, and again, you can only solve if you have a minimum of one missing variable. Okay, they can be multiple it can be the same variable throughout the equation, but you can only have one missing variable. Okay? So in this case right here, it's telling us that you take a side, it doesn't matter which of the sides, and you square it. Then you add both of the sides together and square each of those, subtracted by 2 times each of the other sides, and cosine of the opposite angles. So what I mean is, I'm going to take a side. I took side A squared. So then I'm going to sum and square both of the other sides, which is B and C. Okay? And then it's minus 2 times the other side, which is B and C. And then cos of the opposite angle. So if we're dealing with A, then the opposite angle is angle A. Okay? And let's try the other ones. If I'm dealing with B squared, right? My other angles, that means the end of here is going to be cos of B. Make sense? So this is B squared, and so this would be cos of B. And in the middle, I have the other two sides, which is A squared plus C squared, minus 2 times the other two sides, which is 2AC. Right? The reason why I want you to learn to do it this way is because then, even if these are labeled whole different things, you'll know how to set it up, just like with the law of sines and how the proportions are created. Okay, our last one is C squared. So let's look at C squared. Okay, so that means this has to be cos of C. And our other sides are A squared plus B squared minus 2 times AB. Right, and that's how we create the law of cosines. We're going to do a few examples so you can see how to actually solve using this equation. So go ahead and write this down and do the notes. Do the vocabulary. And we have one more board. Alright, the first one is asking us to find x. So, what pen should I use? Let's use purple. So it wants us to find side x. Okay, it's unfortunate this is supposed to be an uppercase x, and they want us to find little x. Alright? So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and plug what we know in. Yes? I think we're supposed to have an angle. Let me see. Yes, this is supposed to be 45 degrees. I was wondering. Alright, so it wants us to find side x. So that means the side we're going to be using is little x squared. So that means I have to use the opposite x, okay, the other sides. So that means I'm looking for cos of big X. And then in the middle, and this is what the process that we're going in the law of sines, in the middle we have the other two sides, so little y squared plus little z squared minus 2 times yz. So once I have that equation, then I'm set. I can just plug it in and then solve. So let's plug it in. X squared, I don't have that, so I'm going to bring it down. Y squared is the opposite, which is 11 squared, plus z squared, which is 25 squared, minus 2 times 11 times 25, cos of angle 45 degrees. Right? So squared in this case. 11 squared plus 11 squared plus 25 squared is 625 minus 2 times 11 times 25 is 671 cos of 45. Now, a common mistake that a lot of people make is they don't realize that these are attached right here. Okay? So I can't just add 671 to both sides. These are attached. So first, I need to get rid of 625. I need to get rid of it. Okay? By subtracting. Oh, I don't need to get rid of it actually. My apologies. I just have to make sure that I can't do 625 minus 675 because it's attached here. So what I need to do is I need to do 625 and then figure all that out. 671 times cos of 45, which is 474.5. Then I'm going to subtract, which is 150.5. And then I'm going to square root both sides to get me x. Square root of that, 150.5 square root is 12.3. Right? So let's try the other one, the next one. In this case, they want us to find angle L. Okay? So the way you want to set up the equation is either according to the angle or to the side. So if I'm using angle L, right, if I'm going to use cos of L, I need to use side of little l and then fill everything else in. So n squared plus m squared minus 2nm. That makes sense? They want us to find angle L, so the side I have to use is L squared, this one, L squared. And then I fill everything else in. And again, I'm going to fill in what they give me. So they gave me little l right here. This is little l, this is little m, and this is little n. It helps to draw the triangle out. So L is 24 squared equals n, which is 5 squared plus m, which is 27 squared, minus 2 times 5 times 27 cos of L. And automatically, since the angle's missing, you know that you're going to be using the inverse, which is cos -1. So be prepared for that. But now let's find out what we have here. I have 24 squared, which is 576, equals 5 squared plus 27 squared, which is 729, minus 2 times 5 times 27 equals 295 cos of L. So this is the one that I have to warn you, because please remember that negative 295 is attached to cos of L. So I can't just add 295 to both sides, which a lot of people make that mistake. So what I first need to do is I need to subtract 729 from both sides. Do you see that? So I need to first subtract this, and then I can worry about this, because it's all, you know, connected together. So 756 minus, 576 minus 729, which is negative 153, equals negative 295 cos of L. And then from here, because it's being multiplied, the opposite would be dividing. I'm going to divide negative 295, negative 295, and I end up with, and I'm going to go over here, okay, because I'm running out of room, and I apologize. So negative 153, and I'm dividing here, okay? Negative 153 divided by 295 is 0.5186. Use 4 decimals. Equals cos of L. Now, I'm not looking for cos of L. I'm looking for just L. And in order for me to get rid of that cos, I have to do cos negative 1. So I have to do cos negative 1 of 0.5186 equals cos negative 1 of cos L. And this cos cancel out. Negative 1, cos negative 1 and cos cancel out to give me just L. So now I have to find cos negative 1 of 0.5186, which is 58.8. Since this is an uppercase, that's going to be degrees. 58.8 degrees. Alright, so go ahead and write that down. Alright, once you figure out the equations, you fill it in. And when you fill it in, you just solve from there for the missing one. And if you're looking for an angle, you're always going to use the inverse cos negative 1. So try page 482, number 4. 482, number 4, and I will see you in class.